So, question. If you had a choice or preference, would you prefer the single agonist or the dual agonist? Do you prefer the single GLP-1 or do you prefer the dual agonist GLP-1 and the GIP? What are the effects of the two for you? Are they different? I'm going to explain the effects for me. It's your girl Jasmine Nicole, and welcome to Weight with Jazz, a safe space for the obese, the overweight, and those who just want to lose weight, and myself to share our weight loss journeys and a little bit of my life too. Just quickly breaking down the GLP-1 agonists. So we have the single GLP-1 agonist and we have the dual GLP-1 agonist that includes the GIP, also known laymanly as the GLP and the GIP. Okay. Now, from my understanding, the GLP-1 component only is solely contributed to appetite suppression. And the GIP component is contributed to gastric delaying. So it delays the digestion of your food or whatever that's going into your body. And that can cause problems. And I know personally for me, I feel like that delayed gastric part is what causes most of the funny business, the nausea, in a lot of cases, the excessive belching or even sulfur burps, gastric tightening, and ultimately vomiting, depending on how long the food is sitting on your system. If it's a trigger food that's sitting in your belly, or you have something acidic that's sitting in your belly, like alcohol or something that has not passed through the system like it usually would. For me personally, I know I could do with just the single effect, if I'm interpreting this correctly, if that's the case. I know that are some people who have been on semaglutide or Ozempic or Wegovy, and they have transitioned to Tirzepatide, Zepbound, or Manjaro. I don't know if people who have taken Tirzepatide and have transitioned from Tirzepatide to semaglutide. I'm interested to know if the same dual effects occur with the single effect agonists. Because in my interpretation, I'm thinking the single effect agonist is just appetite suppressing. It's not delaying. I could be wrong. Please drop in the comments. Give me your insight, your opinion. Those who have taken semaglutide or just know some more additional information about the effect in comparison to the dual agonist of Tirzepatide. I feel like the delayed gastric part, it can cause the social issues, all that. Because when you are out and you're consuming, like, you don't want to have to worry about the food not digesting in its proper time frame when you're out or when you're back home. I don't like that feeling of discomfort, that feeling of extreme bloating, not knowing when the food is fully digested before eating something else of even a small amount, eating another food that is sitting on top of the food that's already there that's not fully digested. Not having that full measurement of time. I think maybe give or take 2 or 3 hours, but it still can vary with people and just your system, how it's moving to get it going through. I know people who drink alcohol, this does do amazing things for alcohol consumption based on the studies. It can limit the consumption. But for those who just, you know, are okay with drinking alcohol and they're not in that effect of trying to stop and want to have a couple drinks, I could see this causing a problem of alcohol sitting on your stomach. Because when alcohol comes through your system, you just want it to come through, make you feel good, and eventually flush on out through fluids and absorb through you eating. Okay, not hanging around in your system. I have not consumed alcohol since I've been on this medication. For that specific reason, I do not want that feeling of discomfort. Definitely, that's going to prompt nausea, all of that. Not knowing when that's flushing out my system. I just don't like the effect of something staying in my system for too long, causing discomfort. It causing, you know, causing uncertainty sometimes on when you should eat something else, because you're not sure if it's fully digested, even if it feels like it's digested. I don't know. What are you guys' effect on it? I mean, is it similar? I'm not saying that I'm transitioning from Tirzepatide to semaglutide, but I'm just in my head wondering if that dual agonist is primarily that gastric delaying component, in addition to the appetite suppressant. Can people just deal with the appetite suppression only? Are people on semaglutide, do they feel the same way? But see, I've heard that on semaglutide, the vomiting occurs in accession as well. So I'm wondering, like, does the semaglutide have that gastric delaying effect too? And if it does, then what's this strong dual component? What else is this GIP doing, this GIP? Because I know there are some studies in a mix on just a sole GIP agonist only. The market is trying to test what the GIP component can do for weight loss, for diabetes, just solely on its own. As an additional option, maybe it can give less effects, more effects, increase weight loss. I don't know, but I know they're testing that right now. Y'all, I strongly really think it's the gastric delaying. I could really do with just the appetite suppression. Like I said, y'all, I'm not transitioning, but it just has me thinking. I could really do just appetite suppression. Can you really deal with just appetite suppression, or do you need to have that extra component to make you feel full longer? Because essentially that's what it's, you know, it's endorsed as. You're feeling full longer. I can go without feeling full longer. Just give me the appetite suppression, right? And then let that absorb and, you know, fade off as it does. And then rejuvenate. I like to know that my food is digested. That's just me. I don't want to wait all day for my food to digest. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel fearful of consuming other food because I'm not sure if my the food I previously consumed is fully digested, even if it feels like it. Am I going to have a situation later on in the day or in the evening? You get what I'm saying? So it's just really something to think about. I don't know. It's just something to think about. It's something I've been thinking about, y'all. Let me know what you think. I'm going to get at y'all the next video. Be real, boo.